He's going to get a third term. So Trump 28, Trump is going to be president 28, and people just ought to get accommodated with that.
So what about the 22nd Amendment?
There's many different alternatives. At the appropriate time, we'll lay out what the plan is, but there's a plan. We had longer odds in 16 and longer odds in 24 than we got in 28. And President Trump will be the president of the United States, and the country needs him to be president of the United States. We have to finish what we started. Trump is a vehicle. I know this will drive you guys crazy, but he's a vehicle of divine providence. He's an instrument. He's very imperfect. He's not churchy, not particularly religious, but he's an instrument of divine will, and you can tell this of how he's pulled this off. We need him for at least one more term, right? And he'll get that in 28.
You're not driving me crazy. I'm trying to understand the coherence of the things you've just told me. On the one hand, you've said the Constitution is fit for purpose. Secondly, you've said that President Trump needs another term, even though the 22nd Amendment makes pretty clear that he cannot have another term.
Why does it make that clear?
Because he's on his second term already.
At some point in time, we will make sure we go through Zanny and define all those terms.
But you will be undermining the spirit of that amendment, even if you find some way around it.
If the American people, with the mechanisms we have, put Trump back in office, are the American people tearing up the Constitution? Would that be tearing up?
Well,
would the American people be going against the spirit of the Constitution, ma'am?
I think yes, actually, because I think what you will end up with is a populist justification for a quasi-dictatorship.
That's not true at all.
That's what it sounds like.
Trump is a dictatorship. Did you just see the compromises he had to make on the big, beautiful bill? You see the compromises he has to do on everything, on accommodating Zelensky, on what President Trump. President Trump is nothing but a series of negotiations to kind of keep this thing rolling forward, where he's having trade-offs all the time.
Steve, you've just spent the last 20 minutes telling me we have to smash the other side. There's no room for debate. There's no room for compromise. We must smash them. And now you're telling me this is a negotiation. I mean, that's
no.
I guess that's why it seems to me some kind of tension there.
The only way President Trump wins in 2028 and continues to stay in office is by the will of the American people, okay? And the will of the American people is what the Constitution embodies. And so I think we're going to be in good hands there. We need to finish what we started. He's going to get a third term.
Did you hear what he just said? This is an advisor to the Trump administration. He was an advisor in the first one too. Now, I want you to imagine that an advisor to the Obama administration sat there and in an interview, this wasn't leaked. This wasn't something that, accidentally got out. This wasn't a hot mic. This man looked straight into that interviewer's face right in front of that camera, and he said this. So imagine an Obama administration advisor coming out and saying, Obama's gonna get a third term. And not just that, but what did he say? He basically said, you're just gonna have to get used to that. He said, you're gonna have to get accommodated with that. And the American people are just going to have to get accommodated with that. Imagine if Joe Biden, if an advisor to Joe, imagine if when Kamala was on the trail, if one of her advisors said, well, she's gonna get elected and then she's gonna do 2-3 more terms, she'll be there till she dies. The whole entire country would be up in arms. I mean, it is wild that somebody would say this out loud on the record. Especially someone who is affiliated with the administration. If y'all are not paying attention, you better wake the hell up, y'all. One thing about the Trump administration, they're gonna tell you what they're gonna do before they do it. This is their MO. They float these insane ideas, these ideas that everybody just dismisses. They float these insane ideas waiting to see what the people say, and everybody dismisses them. They go, oh, he's crazy Uncle Trump, crazy Uncle Donald. Y'all treat him like the crazy uncle at Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, he's got the nuclear codes, okay? And then when nobody reacts, they go through with it. And then after they go through with it, that's when everybody wants to react. But by that point, it's too late. Damage is already starting to be done. And then what does it turn into? Court cases. Now, this attorney general is suing the Trump administration. But while you're suing, the damage is being done. And then what happens when you sue and you win because you're freaking right? Oh, the Trump administration, they appeal. And then what do? They appeal it until it gets to the Supreme Court. And who, pray tell, is on the Supreme Court? Y'all gotta pay attention. This man, he said we have a plan. And it's just a matter of them enacting it. They already have a plan in place, and we're gonna talk about what that plan might potentially be. They already have a plan in place, y'all. It is wild to see, because the reaction, this, first of all, this is barely even, this wasn't even on the front page of my newsfeed. I still haven't even seen this come up in my newsfeed. And this interview has been out for a hot minute. I mean, not a crazy hot minute, but a few days, okay? And the reaction, you go into the comments and everybody's like, well, then Obama's gonna get a third term then. We'll just run Obama. What, shut the hell up. Are you dumb? That is exactly what the Trump administration wants. They're trying to normalize us having third terms for presidents. And here you are walking right in the trap, talking about we'll just run Obama. Excuse me? Are you skipping over the part that these people are trying to violate the Constitution? We just gonna skip over that and now start strategizing? People are in there like, oh, it'll never happen. Trump's cankles say otherwise. He's gonna die. Yeah, he probably won't make it. But you think this ends with Trump? You think the Republican Party chose a 40-year-old vice president because this is going to end with Trump? I need us to put our thinking caps on, guys. I need us to put our listening ears on, guys. No, it is terrifying to witness how unseriously people are taking this. And this isn't the first. There was a congressman previously who was floating this idea. And let's not forget, Stephen Miller was in a live interview with CNN, and he drops the term plenary authority. Well, President Trump has plenary authority. And then he proceeds to freeze and pretend like he's lost service and he's glitching because he realized that he overstepped by talking about plenary authority, which, by the way, if you look it up, plenary authority means you basically have complete authority over everything. King shit. And he accidentally let that slip out. And when he realized that, suddenly he froze. He froze, quote, froze on camera while still blinking. He pulled I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I'm sorry, I'm under a bridge. I can't hear you. That's what he pulled when he realized that he crossed that line. But clearly now they don't give a damn. They're just saying it out in the open and saying that they're gonna, he said, it's going to happen no matter what the hell you say, and you just need to get used to it.